I'm seeing a ton of people come out and say the Yankees should actually walk away from the Juan Soto sweepstakes and spend their money elsewhere. And this is not a small section of people. And this is not really age gap or anything like that. This is a large percentage of Yankees fans that truly think the Yankees can move on without having Juan Soto long term. A lot of this sentiment came after there were reports that came out that when the Mets met with Juan Soto, they allegedly gave him an offer sheet of 14 years and $660 million. That's a lot of money. And I don't know if Hal Steinbrenner's going to match that. So let's look at the options the Yankees have if Juan Soto does not come back in pinstripes. What's going on, guys? The King of Honor 61st June. I'm back in another video, and let's get this started by replacing some of the offensive production that came from Juan Soto. The Yankees would be looking in the outfield specifically, and there are two names that could be at the top of their list. One already was reportedly at the top of their list, and that's Teoscar Hernandez, a Yankee killer that won a ring with the Los Angeles Dodgers last year. This would be a great pickup, not only because Teoscar Hernandez plays so well in Yankee Stadium, but because he supplies a ton of pop in the middle of that lineup. Last year, he had 33 home runs and had 99 RBIs. This is a guy who can drive in runs in bunches and has some of the hottest streaks you will see in Major League Baseball. The thing with him is usually consistency. Every single year, he seems to be consistently one of the best power hitting outfielders in the game. Coming in at age 32, he still has a couple more years of being close-ish to his prime years. This would be a solid pickup to make up some of the production we got from Juan Soto. Another guy the Yankees will be looking at is a guy who has killed us the most over the past couple years, and his name is Anthony Santander. At age 30, he's a little bit younger than Teoscar Hernandez. In terms of home run numbers, he has put up one of the highest home run numbers since he came into the league. This is a guy who has torn up the American League East, and he knows how to hit in Yankee Stadium very well. A switch hitting outfield bat could be huge for the Yankees, especially with versatility in the lineup. Now, unlike Teoscar Hernandez, Anthony Santander doesn't put as much bat to ball, only having a .235 batting average compared to the .270s that Teoscar Hernandez had. Anthony Santander would supply the power that the Yankees would desperately need after losing such a power bat in Juan Soto, and would supply the lineup versatility that Aaron Boone seems to love. He seems to love this righty-lefty, righty-lefty, righty-lefty mold because it works. No pitcher can come in and really face the same sided player 3 times in a row. And when you have to face 3 batters at minimum, you're at least going to see one opposite-handed bat. And that could be huge in supplying runs against the bullpen late into a game. Anthony Santander would also be taken from a division rival, as he is most likely not returning to Baltimore, and Baltimore has to figure out where they're going to supply some of that power from, but the Yankees could benefit from having some of that pure power. Next, we got to talk about the infield. How would we supplement some of these empty positions? First things first, you have to look into the Gleyber Torres contract. I brought it up in a recent video, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. If the reports are real that he is sort of looking at a lot of one-year deals coming from different teams, the Yankees should be in on those conversations to give him a trial period. If he's actually what he was in the second half, he would be a tremendous bat to bring back to help supplement what is lost in Juan Soto. Being able to get on base, knowing the ballpark very well, having a great swing that when he's on, he's hitting it the opposite way, towards the short porch, able to steal a few home runs. Having a leadoff hitter like that is huge. Second half of the season, he was able to put so much bat to ball. He would be a tremendous signing back if the price is right. A multi-year deal, I'd kind of steer clear. But a 1-year trial period where we could trade him at the deadline if things do not work out is a perfect scenario if we are to bring back Gleyber Torres. But if Gleyber Torres does not work out, the Yankees still have a couple of options. We could take one of the Dodgers' biggest priorities of the offseason. We could go after a guy like Willy Adames. Now, Willy Adames is going to be pretty expensive. It's going to be around that $180 to $200 million mark. Willy Adames was very good in Milwaukee. And with him being a depth piece in this lineup, sort of being in the middle to back half of it, would be a tremendous pickup in terms of making this lineup incredibly deep, even without having one of the greatest hitters that's ever lived. Willy Adames is a 3-WAR player who was able to put up north of 20 home runs with an over 250 batting average for all the simple stat people out there. This is a guy that's going to be highly regarded around the league this year. And this will be a tough negotiation. But if the Yankees could get this over the line, it would help lengthen our lineup because he'd play second and keep Jazz at third, but also it would weaken another lineup because the Dodgers have been relying on getting a shortstop in this offseason. And if they don't get a shortstop, they're going to have to continue to play Mookie there. It didn't really work out last year. Overall, this would be an amazing pickup, but if that falls through, they still have one more option. And this is the one that I'm very weary about. It's Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman has said that he would be willing to move from third to second if a team wants to pick him up. If he signed with the Yankees, I would assume the Yankees would want to put him in as primary at third base and move Jazz to his primary position, which is second base. Alex Bregman, that deal really comes down to where is that price tag? If some of the reports are real that he wants Manny Machado money, he wants like Corey Seager type money, he's not going to be in pinstripes. And he shouldn't be in pinstripe. Alex Bregman has had a great career so far. He has had a great few year stretch. He is not worth over $300 million at this stage of his career. He's just not. Coming in off of a 4-WAR season with 26 home runs, yes, he is a great player. Yes, he would make this lineup amazing, especially if they completed the rest of the deals that I brought up. He is entering his 30-year-old season, going to turn 31. If you're giving him $300 million, that means you are paying him until at least his 38-year season. I don't think Alex Bregman will age as well as the market would suggest. By 35, 36, we could see him tapering off. And by then, if we haven't won a series yet, this contract would haunt us for years and years. Hal Steinbrenner has already said he does not want a high $300 million payroll. This would take him to that threshold even without signing Juan Soto. This would be a very high risk with, yes, a high reward, but I do not think the risk is worth it knowing what the consequences will be on the back end. Those reports are fake, and he wants a reasonable contract closer to where Willy Adames wants it. Probably more than Willy Adames because, yes, he is a 1-WAR better player than Willy Adames. He is a far better player. That would take him more from the $200 million range to like the 250, not 330. We're not paying him $130 million more than what we'd pay Willy Adames. That's just a bit ridiculous. But if he is in the business of taking a reasonable contract, this would be a bat that, like the others, would be huge because it would also be burying another rival of the Yankees in the Houston Astros, our kryptonite in the postseason. It would also bring a winning player, a guy who knows what it takes to make it to that level and get over the hump against a team like LA. Alex Bregman would be a great player, but this is a guy that I think the price has to be right for. And then after that, I would say the Yankees should also bring in the guy I brought up in my first video off this World Series run. Christian Walker has to be in pinstripes. No matter what, if Juan Soto's here or if Juan Soto's not, he is a must-get for the New York Yankees. A first baseman that's going to cost less than 9 figures, that's going to give you platinum glove defense and over 25 home runs. Sign me the hell up. I've already talked about that in a former video. Go check that out if you haven't already. But I'm just going to leave that there. Let's talk about the main ingredient to this. If the Yankees are able to get one or two of the deals done that I brought up, the Yankees have to look into pitching. At this point, the Yankees are going to have close to the lineup that we had in 2023. When Aaron Judge went down, we struggled mightily. At this point, without Juan Soto, we're going to have to sort of adjust our game plan a little bit. If we lose Juan Soto, there's a chance we're going to have to play in a way where we're going to outpitch any starting pitcher in baseball. We have the Rookie of the Year now with Luis Gil. We have Garrett Cole, who's still a top 5 pitcher in baseball. You have Carlos Rodon, who on the right day could be dominant. We got to add from this spot. Go get a Blake Snell. Go get a Roki Sasaki. Go convince him to join the Yankees. The reports from last year that said that Blake Snell got a contract offer from the Yankees allegedly were false. Blake Snell said it himself. This time the Yankees have to send that offer sheet if we lose Juan Soto. Juan Soto provided a depth to this lineup that I don't think we can replicate. I've been trying to with these guys, but again, a guy like Anthony Santander and Teoscar Hernandez are not going to nearly bring the production that Juan Soto brought, even if we bring in a Willy Adames or an Alex Bregman. That's still not going to match the production from just Juan Soto. So the lineup is going to be weaker than it was in the past. We're going to have to supplement that a heavy pitching attack. Make sure we give up less runs than the other team. That's the name of the game if we lose Juan Soto. And Blake Snell is the guy who, yes, at the start of last year was awful, but he also had a bad contract run where it took him into the late portions of spring training. He barely had a spring training and basically used the first couple months as his spring training. Once he was off of those 2 months, he was absolutely dominant. Blake Snell is still one of the best pitchers that this league has to offer. And if the Yankees lose out on Juan Soto, but we could have a 2-pitcher tandem, Garrett Cole and Blake Snell, and then have a 3-headed monster of, on the right day, Carlos Rodon, along with the Rookie of the Year, and then possibly bringing in another pitcher in Roki Sasaki, who, yes, is most likely a Dodger. But if we could convince him to kind of be his own guy out of the country of Japan, rotation would be the best rotation in baseball. Luis Gil, Roki Sasaki, Carlos Rodon, Blake Snell, Garrett Cole. What the fuck? That's all you have to say to that. If we lose out on Juan Soto and you focus on the pitching, we could still get shit done. And if you didn't like all these options, which, you know, I was very iffy on a bunch of these, well then, you better fucking get Juan Soto back. Because if he's gone, there's your option. Let me know, did you swing back to the side of let Juan Soto go? Did you come back to the side of, yeah, we gotta keep Juan Soto at all costs after this video? Let me know down below. Like the video if you enjoyed. There's just so little news that's coming out about free agency. It's really pissing me off, but I'll make sure I try and get more content out for you guys. I'm out of here though. Take care and peace.